All right. Now that the time has come and gone with Epic, I want to finally throw my hat into it and give my own personal 2 cents. Uh, this video is going to be a lot more freeform and not really an essay of any kind like my other videos because I just wanted to just throw out my thoughts. So when it comes to Epic, there are some pros to it, there are some cons to it, and I just want to give my own personal opinion on how I personally feel about it. First off, I really am indifferent. I don't really care that about Epic in general. Like I don't feel hurt about using Epic over another service most of the time. It's not like I'd have better service with Steam. Well, let me change that. It's not like my money would be better spent on Steam or anything. All games are priced the same. If it's $60 on Steam, it would be $60 on Epic, vice versa, etc., etc. And I personally am not one of those people who care about getting another browser or another launcher. It really does not personally affect me. What's another point I want to talk about? Epic? Oh, so the concept of exclusives. Again, I'm personally indifferent. I don't really care about the concept of exclusivity to that degree. If they want to get exclusives, it doesn't really truly affect me because I don't personally mind. I understand why some people are upset about it. It just doesn't affect me to that degree. It doesn't hurt my personal experience whether I get it on Epic or get it on Steam. And I don't quite fully understand why some of the arguments for it. And I don't fully understand some of the arguments when the consoles have been doing it for literal generations, for 5, 6, 7 generations now. It's just something to entice people to come to their platform. Now, if a developer says that this game is going to be across all platforms, and then they double back and don't put it on all platforms, then I understand the frustration. Then I understand the anger, and the people who bought into this and pre-ordered this have all the right to be angry. The people who are dealing with the Shenmue 3 thing have all the right to be angry. The Ooblets case have all the right to be angry, etc., etc. But if they just kind of like pay for the exclusive outright anyway, who cares? I don't see how it's any different than any other company paying for exclusive rights or buying an entire company and paying for the exclusive rights. It's like how Outer Wilds is only going to be on Microsoft systems because, they were bought by Microsoft. So what's the problem? That's another point. There are some pros with it, with Epic as well. I will never front or be upset at a indie developer taking the Epic deal. The video game industry is an utter shit show, and it's especially bad for the indie developers. It's so atrociously bad. Like, you can spend all this time, all this money, all this effort. Like, you can hear it doesn't take that long to like go around the circles of the video game industry, especially indie video game industry, and hear about how people foreclosed on homes and got loans to make video games. Cuphead, perfect example of this. The people who worked on Cuphead were literally putting themselves into debt for this game because they knew it would be good, and it turned out amazing, and that's one of the success stories. But games like that, your Undertales, your Cuphead, your Deltarunes, your Shovel Knights, your Bloodstains, those are the exception, not the rule. In fact, you can probably look at your own Steam library right now and look at some indie games that are personally good. One of my personal favorite being Tangle Deep, that is really good and don't even have like a quarter of the fanfare. And because of how lackluster Steam's curation is with games, with them having more games made in like each day than there were games put on Steam back in the day, it's ridiculous. So I'm not going to fault any indie game developer for saying, hey, when Epic comes by and says, hey, if you sign up to our platform, we're going to give you a set amount of money so that you're secure, so that you're safe, and you don't have to worry about you not being able to pay rent. I'm sorry, guys. Remember, passion, exposure, clout, that doesn't put food on the table, that doesn't pay the bills, that doesn't feed families, they need money. So I'm not going to fault any developer for saying, I'm going to take the safe bet and go with Epic. That said, again, the developer for Super Meat Boy was like, I don't see why anyone wouldn't take this deal. It's just another safe securing of money. And I agree with that statement. He even went as far into saying, oh yeah, I understand the problems that this system has. That people do not like the system, but you got to look at it from both sides of the spectrum. But the developer of Dark, another game that another indie developer was like, look, we promised our players that this game would be on both Steam, it would be on all platforms. And so they're just sticking to their guns with that one. And they aren't doubling back like other developers are. Hell, they even offered for Epic. They even offered with the Epic to say, "Hey, if you guys are willing, we will allow you to be on as long as we aren't exclusive. You can still take our game." To which Epic said, "Nah, we only want you if you're exclusive," which is a problem with Epic. They're basically saying they're trying to strong arm the system like super hard. They're saying it's either our way or the highway, and I'm not down for that. Period, because they're trying to just be the new monopoly of the video game industry. So, can't get behind that. Can't get behind that at all. What are some other thoughts I have on Epic? I don't feel like it's that Chinese bot farming thing. I feel like that's just conspiracy theory. I could be wrong. It could actually be that they're selling our information to China since they're required by Tencent, but I don't believe that's true. One good thing is the competition. The fact that Steam now has competition, they are recently been forced to update and improve their own clients. There was something they recently did to improve their own system, and I'm going to assume that's because they're seeing Epic kind of like challenging their reign as monopoly. I like Steam, but let's not get it twisted. They're not perfect either. That's one of the reasons I don't really care about either side fully. It's not like I'm too much for Steam or too much against Steam. It's just as someone who's like looks at all the facets of the video game industry, I'm not gonna give Steam like just a free pass because let's be honest, back when they started off as a system, their system was just as poor as Epic was. There have been so many cases of just they have so many fake games on there that it's damn near impossible for these actual good indie games to actually see showcases. They have so many fake games on there that Steam itself calls fake games that it's just so unreasonable for any kind of developer other than like the big names, the Bandai's, the Namco, the Bandai Namco's, the Tecmos, the Konami's. Only big names can really be seen on there in most situations. Again, the Undertales, the Deltarunes are the exception, not the rule when it comes to indie game development. What I'm really hoping, and I will give Epic about 3 more months to improve itself. They started back in December, so last December in 2018. So if by this December they don't have a better UI, a better client, a better platform for selling games, I will then start crapping on them. They've had a year, they've had all this time and all this money to see what people want, and it's not realistic anymore that some of these things aren't in their client already. So yeah, I'm giving you guys 3 more months before I start going like, all right, you guys have no excuse anymore. Chop, 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 chop. Let's get a better system and better client and a wish list already. Come on. This is some like basic stuff that should already have been in your client. Do I have anything else for you to say about it? No, not really. I just don't hate Epic. I hope as the competition continues that Steam is forced to do better and better and curate their own games better and better and just do better for their indie developers. I'm not going to shiest any or be mad at any indie developer for taking the money, but I respect the indie developers who stick to their guns and do not take the money if they promise their game on multiple platforms. Right, and you can't pirate games if they're on Epic. You just can't. Because if by pirating the games on that games are on Epic, you're saying, "Oh, this game's on Epic now. I'm just gonna pirate it now." You are literally confirming why these indie developers are taking the deal, because it is that safety net. All right, if you were really that upset, don't play it, don't buy it, don't touch it at all. But by pirating it, you are literally confirming what Epic is saying. Yeah, But yeah, that's just my 2 cents about the entire thing. Nothing more really else to say. I hope everyone here has a good morning, evening, day, and night. I'm out. Later.